All right. I do want to do this video, but we'll likely do it another time. It's a 45-minute video of 9 to 5 workers versus streamers debate what is harder. I'm gonna go ahead and watch it.
How you gonna disrespect your mom like that, dude?
She is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder? That is so rude.
All right, can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen,
Your job is dangerous.
You would have to actually have to go to work.
Went
to school, and still.
And paid rent?
Yes, I still worked.
That's your choice. You're
high. You're hungover.
Credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time.
I don't even enjoy streaming anymore.
Oh shit. I'm sorry. I mean, let me give y'all that run back.
How you gonna disrespect your mom like that,
She
dude?
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder? That is so rude.
All right, can I talk?
That's such a black thing to do.
So your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen,
Your job is
You
dangerous.
would have to actually have to go to work. Went to school, and still.
And paid rent?
Yes, I still worked.
That's your choice.
You're high. You're hungover.
Credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare
I
time.
don't even enjoy streaming anymore.
Yeah, they're not playing video games all the time, bud. Having to keep up and maintain that.
Same old different day.
Okay, all right. So my argument here is
does that?
streaming and social media creation is harder than a 9 to 5.
Nah, it's not facts, bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say that?
Because you gotta get up every motherfucking day, go to the motherfucking bullshit job, and slave for fucking pennies.
See,
Okay,
that's
we
the
get
thing
that.
is you're right. You get up every day. You go through the motions. You don't have to get a good night's sleep. You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up. You go. You flip some patties.
Nah,
maybe you sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls. With streaming and social media creation, you have to be on your game 24/7. It's like a switch that never
when you're a
turns
mail
off.
carrier, I'm a mail carrier, and I'm gonna
They
tell you
got
something, man.
older
I
folks,
get treated
though,
like
that
shit
don't understand
every
that.
motherfucking day.
We
I'm
have to
still
deal with
slaving
thousands,
every day.
tens of thousands of people
Bullshit.
critiquing every little thing we do, every
Man.
decision we make, every thought
You
we
guys
have.
got it made, man. I wish I had
We
it
don't-
made like y'all.
We don't have
I
to go
wish.
sign a few envelopes and put them in a mailbox.
Man,
We
you
have
got
to
it
be,
gravy, bro.
What's the next trend?
Because
What's the
the
next
shit I
idea?
go through every
Oh my
day,
God, I have
and
to
got
stream
dogs,
today.
And I got dogs that want to bite my ass
And
every
you have
day.
lunch breaks. You have lunch breaks. We don't have breaks. We're on 24/7.
You guys-
High energy,
I wish I
24/7.
could be at home like you and get back and get paid big
We're
money.
not even at home. We're walking around.
Man,
We're walking
I
around
wanna
doing
do
things,
all of
going
that
to
because
parties, doing
the
all this
shit
stuff.
I gotta
Okay,
slave
yeah,
just
Lacey,
for
that's not gonna
100,000
capture
a year.
somebody's.
I gotta work double
like,
overtime.
literally, Lacey, that's not gonna get somebody's attention. I have to go to parties. I have to walk around like Lacey. That's not gonna connect to them. What you have to say is like, imagine being basically the creative director. Those are people with 9 to 5s. Imagine being your own PR, your own marketing team. Those are real jobs. People go to college for those. Imagine having to have your life in order like a life coach and also live stream it and keep the attention of thousands of people. If I can't even keep you engaged in a conversation right now, then how did I do that for thousands and thousands of people on a daily basis, to the point where they spend their hard-earned money to come to my streams and watch these things for hours on end? They have FOMO, fear of missing out. They don't want to miss out on what we got going on. That's what we got to provide here. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of good stuff coming up. Y'all ain't gonna want to miss it. I'm just saying. But yeah.
Time. Bullshit.
Okay, what about this?
Because I work and I'm also a streamer. There's a middle ground. In the beginning, there's a middle ground where you transition.
You're guaranteed to get paid. You have a
No, I'm not.
steady rate.
You're not guaranteed?
I don't work, I don't get paid.
Clearly,
As
it's the
simple
same
as
thing
that.
for both sides.
You have a guaranteed pay if you
No,
work.
I
That's
don't.
your decision if you don't want
I
to work.
gotta work at the job for
If
years.
I don't go live, I don't
just
get paid
to
either.
collect.
We don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Yes, we have people,
Bro.
in the chat spamming L's.
These niggas, bro.
Oh, this is bullshit. We don't like this. We have to create content. Imagine you have to be high energy. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? You guys like this stream?
That's me 24/7. I'd rather do that.
So why don't you become a streamer?
Man, that's what I want to
It's
do.
free. You can't just do
It's
it.
not a fine shit.
If streaming is so easy, how come every single person in this seat is not a streamer?
People are lazy. They want to put in the work.
That's their fault.
It's the same thing with working.
all the time.
Oh, so what? I can call fat and chubby. All my homeboys call me chubby, fat, whatever.
That's your homeboys, though. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's a
Yeah.
homeboy.
Yeah, and you right, homeboy, you right. But check this out. My nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go out there and get that bag.
I think she's got something she wants to say.
Oh my gosh, wait, we're seeing a
But
flag.
like, my thing is,
Unfortunately, these flags are actually useless. We decided to use a timer instead because we suck at explaining things.
understood. Oh, this is a FaZe Clan video, like just a regular FaZe Clan video. Hold on. They're doing their own Jubilee shit. I see it now. I see it now.
I was actually a cook for 15 years. So that means for 15 years, I had to get up practically every day, get dressed, go to work.
But you
and
get to
I had
decide
deal
what
with
job
not
you
only
want.
adults, but I also had to deal with children.
We deal with children every day,
We deal with tens of thousands of children and adults.
The Lacey Thugs are. Do you not know who the Lacey Thugs are?
I can't go out in public without 10 kids coming up and asking for a picture. You know how hard that is of a life?
Isn't that
That is
special?
difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
Forever.
Forever,
You think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so. You just proved my point for me. I don't have that security that's gonna last forever. Having a job, being
That's
a
why you
cook,
gotta
you
grind.
have that security of, oh, I have a job, I have a degree, I have this. This could end for me tomorrow.
Hypothetically, if you all of a sudden you lost all your followers, what would you do?
I know what he'll do. Get up.
No, I'm asking
Trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would you
Job.
do if you lost completely all your
Get a
YouTubers?
job.
You had
Yes, you
nothing.
would have
no
to.
one watched you anymore. I didn't even watch you anymore. What would you have to do? You would have to actually go to work.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta make a living somehow.
Cuss at you?
That's a slur. If I did lose all my followers, I would probably buy a couple houses and start my real estate empire.
Okay, so then you would have to actually go to work. You would actually have to go to the office.
And I would think that would be a much easier job than streaming.
You gotta go into your setup though and sit in front of studio lights and read the chat and be interactive.
But no, he lost everybody. He lost everybody. He has no followers whatsoever. He would have to turn around.
But you're proving my point.
You would have
You're
to turn
proving my
around.
point. You're proving my point on why this is harder because I could lose it all tomorrow.
Yeah, but you could lose it tomorrow.
If let's say you're a cook, right? Let's say you got fired. You have hundreds of people lined up. You can go cook over here, cook over there.
You could be a private chef.
You could be a private chef. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have that security.
I was a cook in the school system. I cooked all frozen food.
But you still cook.
You still cook. You go cook for another school.
I think I saw a flag right here.
Flags. I see red flags.
I'm gonna have to backlight. Yo, Lacey, it's the truth.
All right, somebody switch Lacey out, please. Like, why aren't
I
they
think something
rotating?
You guys aren't taking into account. Say we get a brand deal. I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 Loco cans. I gotta make sure I get the 4 Loco can. And
Not to mention,
You have to do work. That's what we have to do.
it ruins our Twitter impressions too.
I gotta tag them.
And then that goes into falling off.
My name is Rhonda. I'm a registered nurse from the South.
Nice to meet you,
From
Rhonda.
Clap it up for Rhonda.
5 years ago, I decided to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a creative, I thought. I loved fashion, I loved acting, I loved singing. But in the South, whole lot of racism. Back in the 60s and the 50s, people didn't give a rat's ass if you created something, and they wouldn't support your business. So yes, a 9 to 5 is much harder. I had to work 7 to 3, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I had to support my daughter.
Rhonda,
Rhonda, have you ever done a week stream, like a week-long stream? I can go to work and then I can stream. So like I see both sides of it. Working is fucking immensely hard sometimes, depending on your work ethic, depending on your, a litany of different factors, like mental health, physical health, spiritual health, your work-life balance, all these different things. I feel like Comcast is one of the worst jobs I've ever had, honestly, in terms of like it being a higher level paying job, commission, and at the same time, like I honestly was in a whole different tax bracket, to be honest. And like even dealing with taxes, bro, is fucking strenuous. So the more money you make, the harder things become. They need to talk about the IRS too.
ask you a question?
Nope.
Have you ever done
You
it?
get spoiled. You get spoiled, and your mama and daddy keep giving it to you.
Rhonda, I got a question for Rhonda. I got a question for Rhonda. Rhonda, have you ever done a subathon?
What's a subathon?
30 days straight.
24/7.
Hours a day.
Day and night. No break.
We all streamed for
That ain't even healthy.
You're talking about working 7 to 3. You have 2 30-minute breaks throughout that. You get to go home afterwards, see your family, relax. We were on camera 30 days straight, no personal.
What
You know how
day
hard
were
it
you
is
a registered
to
nurse?
have.
When did you get a break? You clean boo-boo?
When have you ran a 3-minute ad?
You
When have you
clean
ever
up
ran? You
vomit,
never ran a 3-minute
You
ad.
pass trays. You short-handed.
Talk about the fake relationships that you have.
Oh my God.
Now
It's fake
think
on
about
social
this.
media.
Think about this. Imagine
Sure.
every little person. We call them parasocials. They judge your
Parasocials.
relationships. You can't go out to dinner
Yep.
or have a girl take a picture in your car without them finding out and
I
judging
got
you
caught with
based
my
on it.
ex
I
in
got caught with
public.
my ex, and I got treated like I was a pedophile for it.
But mental health. When you stop caring about what people think and what they say about you.
Yeah,
do
but the
you-
internet, literally, when that's your
Do you?
job, you
And
can't
that's
just
a
like.
big problem with younger people. You care about what people think, social media, what they say about
Because
you.
that's our
That's
job.
our job.
You said you're a nurse, right?
35 years.
What do you think's harder? 24-hour open surgery, like when you're helping with, the doctor, et cetera, or a 24-hour stream?
24 hours surgery. Open
Oh,
surgery, absolutely. No,
Like,
you're
we're saving
trim.
thousands, you're saving one.
Bro, shut the fuck up, Ronaldo. Shut the fuck up. On God, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That was the absolute dumbest thing I've ever heard, bro, in my entire life. Y'all can clip that and tell them, like, yo, that shit was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, bro. On God. And they're dapping him up for it.
All right, so you said 30
That
day
was a
subathon,
clip.
right?
That was a clip.
My
clip
argument is
farm.
that you guys, none of you guys actually did any of the work during that, and it was all your filmers, your
part of the
editors,
face team?
your producers. All these people back here are the ones doing the work. You guys just show up and have fun.
They didn't do anything.
It's a group project.
No, because here's the thing.
Well, that's bad takes.
That's bad takes. That's bad takes. That's bad takes.
They wouldn't have any work if it wasn't for us, though.
On God. They wouldn't have a job if
I
it
would
wasn't for
even
them
go as far
providing
to
the,
say,
you know.
as every person in this room, we keep them employed as well. Because here's the thing, we get sponsors
That is true.
from these companies that have
No,
9 to
it's
5s,
true.
right?
They
These
actually don't
companies-
hear that.
Hold on.
How the fuck do you think we pay for the production? And to keep these people employed, they have lives too. That is true. Like, at some point, someone has to sign a W-2 for you if they're going to be working for you for years.
These companies are not viable without influencers to push the brand and keep them in business.
Have you ever worked a real job?
No.
So how would you
See,
know?
I have worked a real job.
What was your real job?
I worked 8 months. I worked a double. I worked Walmart and Panera at the same time for a
Why
year.
is he laughing, bro? It's not
Yeah,
making
why are
me
you
laugh.
laughing? There are people that are like 40 that
I
still.
feel like they're wrong.
Yeah, no, that's actually wrong. That's actually wrong. Walmart is not easy. Panera Bread is not easy. I work both those jobs separately, though. At the same time, nah.
Chris,
All right, Chris.
why do you think a 9-to-5 job is not harder than what you do?
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay.
Yeah.
As long as you show up and you're not laid off.
No, it makes it easier for you
Makes
guys.
it easier
Yeah.
because we have a guaranteed pay.
100%. You have
Makes
security.
it easier
Talk about
for
raises.
Makes it easier for 9-to-5 people to have a job because their pay is
Yeah, when you go to
guaranteed.
work every day, everyone's
So you're
like,
basing the ease of a job just on somebody getting paid regularly? Is that what you...
well, let's just say that comes to perspective.
You
If
have
say
a
someone who
choice.
works food, if you're someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9 to 5, someone who doesn't need a degree, yeah, it's way easier than being a streamer.
How so?
Well, it's because you're guaranteed and you don't need any crazy knowledge. You don't need to go to school for most jobs, like certain things like a 9 to 5. If you wanted to go work at Foot Locker, I could go to Foot Locker, apply.
Yeah, you
and
could.
then next thing you know, I'm selling shoes for pay every single hour.
So according to you, a job is easier or harder based on the guaranteed pay? That's one
9 to-
aspect of it.
Working
right?
at
Yeah.
Foot Locker,
Okay.
working at a job like Panera or whatever Lacey is easier than a streamer, yes, because a streamer you have to come up with ideas. You have to stay relevant. There
Oh,
was
we're talking about ideas now. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
what do you-
talking
what-
about pay.
Okay, so what do you want to
that's
start
one
with though?
way that
But it
it's
doesn't
easier.
make. But
Well,
you're not
you started
even.
with
You're not
pay.
even.
You're not
keep switching it,
structuring.
So why
Oh,
don't
I'm
you
not
answer my
switching
question?
anything.
You are.
100% are. So how is it harder if you're guaranteed to pay? I worked for 4 years of streaming. I didn't make $1.
Well, what's your definition of hard? That's the thing. It's like,
Nigga,
what-
are you not? He's missing the point.
Creativity, you need to get out of your circle.
On God, literally coming up with new ideas and then paying for them and then trying to stay relevant within your own niche so that people don't feel like you're branching too far out and you fall off of relevancy. You could build up a lifestyle. Imagine your streaming takes care of you. You buy a house, then you fall off. You got to get a job to maintain all that. Then you can't maintain all that. You lower your living standards even further in order to kind of like, if you're not smart with your money, it can easily fall into something that's like depravity. Like these niggas have savings to the point where they can just start a business or something and kind of like just work with that. Or like Lacey said, go into real estate, something that is a guarantee. And yes, you do have to wake up and all that. You know, you can hire a team to work for you and stuff like that and just manage the company itself. But that all takes like immense work. So like working can be harder than streaming, but at the same breath, streaming literally is like it's such a like a hard thing to like. Why do you think that literally, yeah, like not everybody's fucking famous for a reason? Understanding that algorithm or employing somebody that understands that algorithm and then working to get the money to pay them to get to the point where the streaming pays off or it's paying for these things is such a fucking hurdle. The regular anybody would never be able to just pick up and do it unless you have an innate talent for just being funny or you have an idea that sticks within a niche and or you're able to branch out upon multiple niches like being a variety streamer like they are and like I am. Adding IRLs, doing all these different things, I'm growing at a slow rate. You see this 278, we're trying to get to 500. These niggas are trying to get to millions and keep people engaged and entertained. That is such a hard task because everybody likes something different. Not everybody's going to like the same thing. So not every viewer is going to invest into that idea that you went out and invested in. You may put $20,000 down on an idea or a week worth of content, and then no one likes it, no one followed, it becomes like all those things are hit with the tax write-offs and things like that. But at the same time, that's such a hit to your pockets that like I could have just secured my pockets with that and stayed at home. But you're trying to maximize profits by doing so many different things. And there are people who go to school to do things like make your thing like streaming and you keep you relevant and things like that. So we got to keep these things in mind, bro. On God. Like when it comes to streaming, not everybody can do it. That's the only reason that they make so much money is because they're so good at their job. It is a job. They technically do have W-2s and things like that. Being an influencer is a new thing, but it does count. Entertainment was at an all-time low. No one wanted to watch football and soccer all day. That's why we fill that void and being real, bringing good content to watch. Like, no one watches fucking TV for real. We might, like, a kid may watch Gumball and shit, but then they're like, I wonder what Kai is doing. I want to keep up with Mordecai and Rigby. Then I'm going to watch Kai and fucking Punga. Kai and, you know what I'm saying, his homies. So, like, it's literally like, you're, like, Cartoon Network and whatnot are big networks for a reason. That entertainment section is so needed and so prevalent because without it, you would go to your job and it would all feel gray. The world would just feel gray. And that's why music is so important. We literally couldn't function as human beings. And I learned this from that Andre 3000 show. It was a kid's show on Nickelodeon, I think it was. But like literally life without music, we wouldn't be able to survive.
Comfort zone. Yeah. You need to be able to actually make people believe what you believe in the sense of like, oh, this is good content. Do you watch any TV shows?
I watch YouTube.
Okay, you watch
so
YouTube.
Much YouTube.
So it's the same thing.
Absolutely,
so the people that you're entertained by are the people like us, just for a different audience.
That's true, but you're talking about entertainment as a job. We could talk about entertainment.
This is entertainment,
as a job.
but this is entertainment.
Why do you think Sony exists?
Why?
Absolutely.
So do you truthfully, you could sit here and think that working at like a Foot Locker or something like that, I'm just using that because that's the best example, is harder than a streamer?
It depends on what you are saying the word hard means to you. Because
in the sense of everyday activity. Because some people around here said, oh, I got to wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Oh, yeah. Okay, we have to do the same thing.
Sure.
Some people do that.
And you deal with yourself.
No, we deal with millions
of people.
When
you're creating that content and you have your phone, you're dealing with you and yourself in that phone.
Okay, so what happens?
You're not dealing with
coworkers
and you're not
That's not true at all. I have an editor that I pay who relies on me. If I stop doing any type of content, he loses a job.
So when you go to your job, when you go to work, when you go to work, rather than punching a card, you pick up your phone or you turn on a camera.
Okay, so when you punch the card, let's say, who's above you? Your boss, right? What happens if he just takes the business and he says, oh, we're not doing it anymore? You lose your job.
If the work is picking up a phone or turning on a camera as opposed to going in with a bunch of people and having to multitask tasks you have to do throughout your shift.
That's exactly what we do. That's exactly what you have to do.
Tell me how much you do of that stuff while you are actually
every
doing
single
your
day,
job
every minute,
for however many number of hours that you are talking and typing and shitting and eating and all that stuff that everybody's watching.
I got
you
this.
do.
Okay.
No, but there's actually a mental aspect.
I understand that, yeah.
No. Let me hear me out.
Go ahead.
Camaraderie. Like you have like a group of people, like friendships, relationships, which is the most important thing in life. So do you build that with your coworkers and stuff like that?
Sorry, bye. See you later.
See you in a lot
He
of
just
flags.
gave up. He just gave up. He lost his argument. Girl,
So, I'm
sit
Angelina,
down. Put your
and I
hand
work
down.
as an
You already
executive
talked.
assistant.
You're right. You're right. She's right. Hang on. She's right. She's right. I'm not gonna lie. She's right. Hey, look good though. Hey, we good.
All right, so you guys were talking about the mental
Ma'am,
aspect.
you don't
and
need. Ma'am, girl, sit down. What do you? Executive
as an
assistant.
executive assistant.
You're right. You're right. She's right. Hang on. She's right. She's right. I'm not gonna lie. She's right. Hey, look good though. Hey, we good.
All right, so you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically it's a 10 to 6, but I still have to clock in a certain amount of time. I come home, I'm too tired to cook. Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home, but if I didn't, I would have to cook for myself and get to bed in time and wake up in time to commute back to my job. You guys talk about how it's hard because there's a mental aspect,
Bro.
and I understand as someone who's been on social media a lot that you get
How long have you
berated.
been on social media? Just to get broad.
So I actually did content creation starting at the age of 14. When I moved to LA, I gained like 10,000 followers off the bat, and I was very young, and I started working with different brands.
Okay.
I totally understand the mental aspect. It's just that you guys can afford to say, hey, I'm gonna go wherever for 2 weeks, and that can be content, that can be your job, and you actually get to relax and
Very
travel
true.
the world and have
Very
other
true.
opportunities.
Very true. And it's that's where a lot of us you know what I'm saying, small streamers and or very new streamers, they see a lot of that angle. They see the fact that you have the money just to enjoy a luxury, like traveling out somewhere. But then exactly like where you get to turn it off from being like, you just like solely focus on a 9 to 5, you get to turn off work. As a streamer, I do not get to turn that off unless I'm literally on vacation mode. I need mental health break. And I'm not going to stream for this week or so. So like when it comes down to it, during that trip, I'm still working constantly. Everybody's watching me. I don't get a moment where I get to, I may have made a mistake on a trip and like it is what it is. I go back home, I go to work. But as a streamer, you make a mistake on the trip, that could be your entire career. That could be the slip up of the century. That's why you have to move extremely tact when it comes to streaming and shit like that. Or when it comes to like content creation. Cause like you never know exactly what can happen. Or like, a career could be ruined off of even stuff you do offline. You never know. Something could happen at an old job and it's gonna come back up.
Say a lot of points.
There's no relaxation.
Just so I can answer a couple. So you were saying like to go back to the beginning, you were saying like you can manage like your time with like relationship. Was that correct? Like you have your girlfriend when you go home.
With this streaming, you can barely have relationships, bro. You don't understand when you're trying to delve into a craft like this. Like so many people have said it, and I've experienced it a couple times where like it can literally drain your relationship because the other person feels so left out and so unincluded. Like, have you ever done a streamathon and then like you don't text people back? You don't talk to people. You got 48 missed calls and 106 like text messages, DMs, and across multiple social medias. After I get off stream, I have to for like at least a good hour or two before I actually get to like turn it off, or I'll just be like, I'm not dealing with it. So like then people don't get replies and things like that. And then like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, like I've been trying to hit you for the past fucking, like, damn. Like, that's why I'd be like, come to stream. So if I know like, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? For like, collabs and stuff like that, for like my boys and stuff like that, they already know. I mean, you can just text me. I'm going to see the message. But like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody be like, yo, check your Discord. check your this and that. You know, it makes it a little bit easier because like I'm paying attention to my community. After stream, yeah, you might have to double text. You know what I'm saying? You might have to double DM. You know what I'm saying?
I
Whatever it
fortunately
takes.
have a support system, but I every day like ask myself how I would have been able to do it without.
Example. So you said 14 you started. I started at 16. For about 3 years, I was making money, and it slowly went super up, and then all of a sudden it went down. Right?
Yeah.
I lost everything, fell off completely.
about
to myself. It's a real story. This is a real story. This isn't a joke. Why you
It
smiling?
was that bad.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Every 9-to-5 worker has been there.
So
That's
going
why.
back to what you said, how you have a support system. I moved across the country from my parents at the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money. I wasn't making enough money to pay my, like I had money in my bank for my rent, but I wasn't making
It was
more than my
serious,
rent.
yeah.
So I was
You
losing.
were in the red every
I was in the
month. I
red
got
every
you.
single month. Girlfriend
She's
broke
an
up with me at the
executive,
time,
remember
so
that.
alone
Double whammy.
across the country. So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down, where's my support system?
I don't like.
Yo, this fucking lady, bro, she's a dick, bro. On God, like he's talking about real shit. But starting from just being a content creator and that's your whole ride, I can see from a employee, like somebody who's worked a 9-to-5 standpoint, that like this, like you know, this is my end all be all. It's the same type of like you know you need that security. And your mental health can be in the trash. You can go through like, you know what I'm saying, that type of shit. But like, you know, laughing about somebody being suicidal and, you know, or like, you know, or like wanting to, you know, unalive and things like that based off their mental health and what they're going through with their job and what they're doing is corny. And like, she needs to go,
Why she
bro.
laughing, bro?
Okay, so I have a question. You said that for the first 4 years you started streaming, you had no income.
I'm like, hey,
How are
like,
you able to survive?
Can we
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
pack her up, bro?
So that to a certain extent is privilege.
That's privilege.
It is.
But my mom. How's that privilege? Before you
It's
go there?
privilege because you have the support system to have a place to live.
Well, at 15, 16, I would hope I have parents that would live with me.
Yeah, but a lot of people
Yeah.
don't, and they have to
What
take
is that?
9
That's
to
a whole different
5s.
discussion.
That's a
So
whole
lot of
different
people don't
discussion.
have houses.
A lot of
when they
people
working
don't
9 to
have
5s?
families that support them or accept
But that's a
them.
whole different conversation.
Yeah, that's a
How is it
whole
moving
different
9 to 5?
conversation.
Because they
We're
still
talking
need
about
to
9 to 5.
survive.
We're
So
talking
the
about
fact
working.
That you were given
So
the
how did you move to LA?
opportunity- I moved across the country as well with my mom when I was 15 years old.
Do you not think that's privileged?
That your mom took
we
you
moved into
there.
a 1-bedroom in Santa Monica and shared a trundle bed, so.
Okay, well, I was reselling shoes to afford my mom's mortgage and everything.
I get it. I've definitely helped my family out in times where I was able to, but I also had to have my family support me in order for me to have certain opportunities.
Bro,
to
now
meet
this
my
nigga want to
need
come
for
back.
space.
No.
So if you didn't have content creation,
Get a new
what would
somebody.
you be doing?
It's a great question. I don't know because I didn't set my goals that way. I set up my life to that. I know I would do what I want to do. If we all got paid the same every single month, let's say just in simple terms, we all got paid $100,000 a month, a crazy amount of money. Would you guys still, truthfully, I'm asking a serious question, would you guys say that all of our jobs are harder than each other, truthfully?
Yeah, if she was a nurse, she had to go to medical school for years just to be able to have her
But
foot
she
in the
knew
door.
that she was getting security because she was going to be a nurse, correct?
Not secure.
How is it not secure if you knew
You
were
could
gonna
not
do
get
it?
a job, or you could do something and get
You don't
fired.
think secure. You just proved my point. But you just proved my point.
No job is secure, but content creation gives you the ability to have those savings,
But
to have an audience. And even if you do lose all your followers one day,
Yeah.
even if
Let's
you
say
lose,
I lost it all tomorrow.
you still have residuals of your previous viral
But that's-
videos. Even if people are hating on
that's
you and
not
shitting on you,
necessarily-
that's still adding to what goes into your pocket.
There's literally doctors who do one surgery and make hundreds of $1,000s.
Because they were trained for decades and they had to go to
So were
school.
we.
You went to school to be a content creator?
Streamer University.
Yo, come on, bro. Streamer University. Bro, like, they are trying to pounce on each other just to talk.
Gabe, how we doing?
I'm doing good. So first of all, I want to say I do respect all of you for what you do. I mean, you guys do work, but you do not work as hard as people who have a regular job.
You don't know that.
I mean, that I do know it for sure. It's very clear. People have to wake up and do their routine over and over again. It's not a daily thing, it's a weekly thing.
Imagine you have to do something different and make sure it's different before somebody says you're copying, and then people say you're copying the content and they stop watching you because they're riding some wave or narrative, and then you lose everything.
It's a monthly thing, it's a year.
It's such a I can't just like, you have to have you don't have to have the mental tenacity to go to work. You just got to be responsible and go to work. If you're not a responsible person, that's just on you. That's nothing to do with everyone else. Being a streamer, also the same drive. You have to have the tenacity to go to work to turn this thing on. You could think, oh, I'm secure. I'm not streaming as much as I want to, or as much as I was before. And then your numbers start to fall. You think you're good. You're riding that wave. Or if you do pay attention to it, you're like, oh, let me turn the stream on. Let me just do whatever this person did. You don't have a creative aspect behind you, a creative bone in your body left, or you just drown out. I mean, look at all the celebrities. What do they do? You could say the same thing, but you respect and you'll grovel at their feet. Because streaming is just a different aspect of it. We don't got to write a song or an album once every year. We got to do this shit daily, on the daily, on the daily, on the daily, on the daily. If that's your thing, you know.
I really think it's a life thing, and if they screw up, they lose their jobs. And they always have to be careful, because if they do something weird, they say something weird to their coworker or their boss, they're gonna lose their job. If you lose some followers because of something you say, you'll get other followers, and you have a large following enough where there's enough of a range of perspectives that people will always be on board for you as long as you're producing content. People who screw up at their jobs and lose their jobs, and maybe there's a recession, there's not a lot of jobs, as could be now. You know, they get potentially homeless or worse.
You ever heard of cancel culture?
What's that? Yeah, of course I've heard of it. But how many people have been canceled and came back? I mean, it happens all the time. Your boss is not going to be loyal to you if you don't get that thing in on time 5 times.
Okay, but check it out. Done. Okay, so listen, but to be able to get that loyal following of people that do follow you, you need to build that over years and years and years and hours of trust and communication and intimate relationships with your audience.
Okay, so
that's not something that's just given to you. You don't just fall into 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers, 3 million subscribers.
Of course not. It takes work for sure. But like, what you guys are talking about in terms of like the toll it takes on you, a large part of it, and let me tell you something, I'm a little older than you guys, so a large part of it is just general angst from being young, and you just happen to have a camera in front of you and like talking to people or whatever. But at the
I know
same
some
time,
30-year-old
like, you're doing
streamers.
exactly what most people are doing, which is dealing with life stuff, and that's normal. Like the mental toll that it takes dealing with people and getting comments. And
I
this
see
and that,
where
that's
his
what
point
everybody
is, though.
deals with.
I
But
see
you
where
don't
his
have to
point is,
wake up at 6 in the morning and get to your job and then be there and like be on the whole time, no matter.
You got to get up at 4:30, get ready, make sure things are straight, make sure, you know, wherever you're going is good. If something gets canceled, now you have to plan something else. You paid money for that thing. Now I have to resecure that money. And then you have, you know, people to pay. So if you don't get up on time, you're not prepared, these people don't get paid, then you don't have work. Then you fall off. Or you can recover, but like it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it, especially when you're putting thousands and thousands of dollars into
anyone who
stuff.
has a 9 to 5 has to do that.
I said, what do you do?
Well, I'm a college professor, so I have to do that same
So
sort
you
of.
just gotta come in and teach the same shit for the next 10, 15
Literally,
years?
Yes, it's
literally,
You're right.
routine.
Come on,
You don't have to
bro.
worry about it.
You know what you're doing.
We have to produce new shit every day.
For me in particular, to Silky's point, you're a college professor, so you're essentially reteaching the same curriculum to the same students.
That I had to take
what I'm
years
saying?
to learn, but
you know
yes.
what I'm saying? But I started making content when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
It started out playing Call of Duty trick shotting.
You
I
were-
don't think
okay.
anybody in this room could hit a crane shot. I don't know if anyone in this room could quickscope.
I don't know if
So
that's
had
something to be proud of, but okay.
So I had to do that for
Yeah?
4 years,
Okay.
right? And then I'm like, okay. Then I had to do YouTube for 4 years,
Okay.
right?
All right.
And then I had to do FaZe Clan, build FaZe Clan out, fix FaZe Clan, and then
Okay.
do streaming.
Okay.
So
And
you're
with how many
constantly-
people helping you?
How many people helping me?
Yeah.
Come on now.
For which stages?
All of them. There were a lot. You had a team.
Yeah, when I was
Was it just you? Like
No.
Okay.
It was just me. There's receipts of this.
It wasn't built on the shoulders of anyone?
There's receipts on YouTube of me.
Okay, well, where did YouTube come from?
When I was
How did
13
YouTube become so
when I was
easy?
13
Because
years
a
old.
bunch of people worked their butts off 9 to 5, making it a thing.
That's
and
what
if
you
it
did
didn't
to prove his
exist,
point.
if it didn't exist,
He's
you
proved
couldn't
his
press
point.
So the
play, you
fact-
couldn't press record,
So the fact that
and
you
then
have
just
a,
talk.
The fact that you have a campus to teach on. Then
Yeah.
boom, there you go.
Right, but I
How do you
also had
have
to
a
spend
campus to
years
teach?
earning my credentials. And
That's what he did. He
mastering-
been
did it.
for
Come on,
years
guys.
earning his
Your credentials
credentials.
are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time. Come on, guys.
So you
Video
just want to
games.
get paid to play video games. This is okay. We understand.
Yeah, go ahead, move. You just want to get paid to play your video games. Move.
I'm Vicky.
Turn
and
on Twitch.
my
That's what you
perspective
should
is
do.
Coming from a hair and makeup artist, physical job. Doesn't seem like any of you guys can even compete with the
Oh,
physicality.
brother.
You guys just, this is.
I
this
know
is
how to do a three-strand braid.
Just sitting on your butt and
Yeah.
talking into a microphone
know.
is
So-
very different.
So wait.
Very different than having to get up in the morning, carry all of your gear. You've got to carry all of your hair, makeup, all of your.
Who do you
all of
think
your
did it before I got
supplies.
somebody
You
else
have
to do it
haul
for
it
me?
around, get up early in the morning. You stand on your feet all
Bet.
day. You never sit down.
I hear you, I
You're
hear you.
I built a house.
You're breathing in toxic chemicals all day.
That's your choice, though.
All right, can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen, bet.
Your
Just
job
chill,
isn't
chill.
dangerous.
So
your
thing
job
is-
isn't
your
physically
thing is
taxing. You're just talking into a
So
microphone.
bet, listen. So your whole
She
thing.
doesn't get that.
Your whole thing is we can't do what you do, right?
It's not
No, no,
physical.
but-
I'm saying that
I
a
just-
9 to
you gotta let
5
me talk for a
job where
second.
you physically have to
Yeah,
do
you gotta let 'em talk for
some
a sec.
hauling around stuff.
So
and
physically, I physically
you're
can't
just
haul
talking
around
into a microphone.
bags of like makeup. You physically could never trick shot. You could not hit a crane shot. You can't 1080. You can't hold a controller
Talk to
and
him.
make a 200K montage.
Talk
You
to
can't.
him, man.
No one in here can.
Come on, man.
None of you can.
On God.
Don't carry something.
It's a different level of skill.
And you have to
Go
do that for 12 hours a day.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually,
He's
yes.
taking 4 days to hit a trick shot. He's taking
4 days.
Actually, yes, I would have
Hours
to
a
do
day.
that.
And then your day is never
Yes, I
done. When you're
would.
done doing that, is your job done? Do you
No,
have to go
as a
shopping
streamer-
and replace
No,
all of the
wait,
things
wait.
that you
Stop.
use?
No.
You have
Somebody
to
break it
clean
down.
all
Somebody
of your
break it down.
You
gear.
don't know about dry streaks. You don't know about hit markers.
But when you're done, you're
You don't know
done.
about if the Elgato wasn't on.
When
Can
you're
you
done, you're
imagine
done.
these
Oh
things?
my God, disable
Elgato?
resample.
If I rendered my video in Vegas and I sent the editor the clips without disabling and resample,
Oh my God.
my montage is fucked. Your main underlying argument here is what you do is physically
Daily, day to day.
Okay. Your main thing is what you do is physically more taxing and hard than what any of us
And
do.
dangerous.
I could say the same
Bro,
thing.
shut up, bro. Anybody, literally, there's so many people that do hair. It's not dangerous to do hair, bro. You go to school, you learn how to do some braids. Like, her hair is not done, twin. If you were good at doing hair, your hair would be done. Your ends look fried.
You
Get
cannot
the fuck out of here.
physically trick shot. You could never. I would go as far
Okay,
as
so how many hours a day do you trick shot?
I don't think.
How many
any of you
hours
guys
a
ever do.
day do you trick shot? How many hours?
When I was trick shotting, it was 12 hours a day. It was however long I needed to. However
Every
long
day,
I
12
needed
hours
to.
a day
However
trick
long I
shotting?
needed to hit a clip.
12 hours a day, every day.
5 seconds.
And that clip is.
He carries a Barrett 50 cal and he jumps off of stuff.
I would have to get on Call of Duty, turn my sense all the way up to 1010. I would have to get to last. I would have to pray to God that he would be in the
laughing,
right
he's
spot,
not trolling.
throw the concussion. Now I gotta have my
This nigga
rotation set.
Jason, this nigga Jason is so serious right now. Y'all laughing. He not playing, bro. My man's just not playing, bro. On God, that's just not easy. Having the mental fortitude to pick up a software and do that with a controller that may have a little bit of input lag, you're trimmed, twin.
Dead zones. Talk about the dead zones.
I need something to drink. I need something to drink. On God, I need something to drink. Give me a second. Never mind. I'm gonna have to go get something to drink.
Drip.
Stick drip.
Thing is, for the most part, but that is not all YouTubers that are doing something physical. A lot of it is just talking.
Yeah, but she also said it was dangerous. We could walk around IRL stream and someone could rob us or kill us.
I gotta.
Wait.
They're laughing, but that's happened recently.
I've gotten a pumpkin thrown on my head by a crackhead.
Crackhead ran up to him on stream and almost
died.
Almost
Because he
decapitated
quoted
him
his
when he
thoughts.
was-
Yeah.
Silky is a high energy IRL GTA V streamer.
My name is Thelma. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I am very occupational. My last job, I worked as a librarian with elementary school children.
So
I have been an executive secretary, legal.
Very quiet, peaceful.
Yes, yes, all that. You know, because it's who you are. That you know, we create social media all the time because that's what we are. We're 9-to-5ers, and we interact and have energy with people.
Yeah.
Where I don't think that you guys have that.
we have energy.
Do you realize what my job
false
is?
energy because you're
False
across the
energy.
screen. You're not interacting with people like we
you know
do.
how many-
So what are we doing right
We're not
now?
interacting?
What are we doing right now?
You're doing it now because we're doing a video.
That's what they do in real life.
Making it harder for us.
Do you know that there's millions of people?
Now I'm not gonna have all y'all gang up on me.
There's millions of people who watch the video and
Yes.
save lives every day.
Yes.
Probably more than doctors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes. There's people that literally stay alive because they want to watch our videos.
You know about going out into the clubs
That's
at
true.
night, staying out till 10 o'clock in the morning, trying to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so you can get dressed.
So you was
to
having
get-
fun.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so
But
That's a
I'm saying
choice.
it's like you guys don't do the interaction. You don't touch people like this.
okay. Now
Oh, shit's going on.
Hold on, Grandma.
go to the club.
Hold up.
You get to put some shades on and you go by your day to work. We can't do that because we have thousands of people.
But is
You're
that your
drunk,
choice?
You're high. You're
But is
hungover.
that
Just
your
get off
choice?
screen. We don't want to see you like this.
But is that your choice?
We don't like you like this. Why are you doing this?
But is that your choice? You
What do you mean?
chose that. You chose this
No,
life.
that's the thing. We can't. We
And
can't
that's what's
do what you
happening
do.
now. That's what's happening now with the whole world. It's a total disconnect. When you have a 9 to 5, you dealing with people. You touching people's hearts,
We deal with
souls,
people's
mind. No, you are not.
You know how
Yes,
many things
they
we
are.
Look, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I respect what you do.
Do you
because
watch
I
any
think-
entertainment?
Oh my God.
Of course I watch
So do you
entertainment.
ever,
I got kids.
wait,
I got grandkids.
Do you ever laugh? Do you ever laugh?
Of course I
So
laugh.
then they
We're
interact with
touching
you.
them.
But the interaction is
Did
not
it make you
real.
feel better?
When I'm
Did it
watching
make you, wait, did it make you feel better?
Then what make me feel
Have you
better?
ever
It all
watched-
depends on
have you ever been
it all
entertained?
depends- it
Have you
all
ever been
depends
entertained
on
and been
what's
like,
coming.
oh, I feel good?
Some of it is
I got a
fake.
banger right now.
Some of it is
You
fake.
see, you're not answering.
So now let me.
Okay, well let me answer because I'm debating him.
Okay, yeah.
But go ahead.
Right after this, I got you. Right
Okay,
now. Go
all
ahead.
right, come on. Let's
So
get-
when you're entertained, have you ever felt like your day was better if you watched something? You've never felt like that?
Yeah, sure.
So what's the difference with us?
The difference with you is that you guys do this 24/7. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Do you know-
Exactly.
because, like,
That's
wait a minute,
proving
somebody made
his
a comment
point.
about,
That's all you
I
do
can't go out
is
with
make
my
people
girlfriend.
feel good.
I
And
can't even go out in public.
That's right.
I can go out in public and be seen.
So it's
You know
easier.
what?
But that's nothing to do with work.
I'm a very social. I'm a
that has
very
nothing to do with
social
work. That makes my
person.
job
I'm
harder.
very
That I have to
popular
make
in
sure
what I
that,
do and where I am. I
bro.
do social
She's just talking
media.
about having a good time,
What we
bro.
do has not
She's just
affected
talking
people
about
that
having a
feel-
good time.
How come when I go out in public and I meet someone and they're like, "Oh my God, wait, I loved your videos growing up. You were my childhood. I used to watch you
Or their
every
hands
single
shaking,
day.
their hands shaking.
Like you were my child. You know how like we grew up watching Disney Channel? Yep. I've had
Ben
kids come
10.
up hundreds of times throughout years of my life. Have kids come up to me and say these things. So
okay.
Yeah, they're touching people's lives, literally.
I'm Robbie. I'm a server at an Italian restaurant.
Come on, bro. Life's easy.
Oh, that's
Life's
not
easy.
fair.
He has the same menu, makes the same food every day, bro.
First thing I'm gonna say is nobody's gonna say being a nurse isn't hard, because my aunt was. That is the
My
most
mom
difficult shit. How are you gonna disrespect your mom like
No,
that,
she
dude?
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect
She
your
loves
mom
it.
and say that your work is harder?
She tells
That
me
is
it's
so rude,
Because
honestly.
she works two of them.
Okay,
she works at two hospitals.
Let me ask you something.
She said it's mad easy. She could work at two hospitals.
No disrespect, but what you do, I'm not your target audience. So break it down for me, because I don't even get it.
Oh my God.
Let me ask you something.
You just said I'm not your target audience because I'm black. That's what you just said. You don't want to watch me because I'm black. And this is what I'm talking about. It's harder.
Oh God, bro, pack him up.
I gotta get judged every day.
Pack him
Everybody thinks I'm a
up.
hoodlum. I'm a nice guy.
I'm a jolly dude.
I can't get a job because I got tats. I used to work at Costco's. I had the greatest 401k granted to me. That means that when I retire, I get the biggest stipend of my life. Do you know I could just sit there and just meat pack all day just to really realize that, what, maybe 20 years I'm gonna be sitting on millions because I worked at Costco's?
Yeah, Will.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't have to interact with nobody, just packing meat.
On God.
Is what you do fun?
Yes.
Do you enjoy what you do?
To a degree, sometimes.
Do you make
yeah,
it fun?
Sometimes it's
I
not.
could make it fun.
Yes or no? Is what you do fun?
Not everything's fun.
What isn't fun? Break it down for me. What do you do in a day? We'll swap stories. What do you do in a day?
Okay, so it's very stressful, right?
Not fun at all. Because this dude was talking for 20 minutes about playing video games.
Whoa. It sounds like you're jealous.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so look, right?
So I'm jealous of a harder job.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, that was sarcasm. You didn't read it. No, I like
No,
No, listen to the time
because
that
if you want a higher pay, you know your job's gonna get harder. You're jealous of people who make more money than you, nigga. You're literally, bro, on God, bro. I'm gonna crash out, bro. I'm gonna crash out. You literally want the job that someone else has, but you know that it comes with a level of difficulty. Sometimes you gotta go to school. Maybe being a nurse maybe doesn't make as much as a streamer, but if a nurse wants to get to that, like there are so many that do, you know, they got to work towards it. It's not easy. There's a level, but like, you know, since streaming isn't the hardest job, I think working on an oil rig to keep everybody's cars in order is a very hard job. It's an extremely hard job. You got to live offshore. Absolutely fucking not. And so like in that regard, being a streamer and just coming up with ideas to keep people entertained, and if you're good at it and you do succeed, is easier. But maintaining those people on a consistent basis year over year, somebody could get bored of your content and stop watching you tomorrow. I've had some YouTubers that I just like, I can't watch them anymore. It's just not the same. Matt Pat, we miss you, bro. Matt Pat, we miss you, bro. Game theory ain't the same, bro. Food theory ain't the same, bro. I don't get the same enjoyment out of it. And sometimes that's just how it is. But they still have a huge community. They just lost one, bro.
I wake up maybe 3, 4 p.m. You know what I'm saying? I'm already drowsy because I just smoked the night before. You know why I gotta smoke? Because I just deal with thousands of people. I don't even like people. I gotta deal with thousands of them. No, let him stay. You gonna stay for this, right?
Wait, but you still haven't described what you've done other than smoking pot and waking up at 4.
Okay, waking up at 4 p.m., right? Now wake up. I gotta brush my teeth, right? Gotta make sure, cause I got a lot of comments. Now, you know, he don't brush his grills. What does his real teeth look like? I gotta make sure that my
He got Chanel earrings like a bad bitch.
And there's girls in his chat too sometimes. So,
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
See him.
I gotta make sure I'm freshly saving. I'm not saving for this video. I already know what's gonna happen. It's about to be negative comments. Yo, shave that little scruffy shit on your face. Cool,
Silky got fat.
Now I have to game.
Yeah, let's watch this in a higher quality.
Probably 1 to 2 hours before stream. You know why? Because I don't get to game it for after work. Like I could just game it after work, bro. I can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't just do that, right? After I do that, now I gotta sit here and plan with somebody what I'm gonna do for the stream today. Oh, looks like we got no content. All right, let's see if we could just scrub something around.
No content, no money.
No content, no money. Now look, probably by 8 or 9 p.m. I'm still probably thinking I got to do something for stream. My mind is fried.
Do you know what's crazy?
My mind
8, 9 p.m. for him? Oh, I did my work today.
He already did
I did my work today.
He took the same boss already.
You're going to sleep.
What? I don't want to hog the space here too much, but do you know the expression, give a man enough rope?
You're losing me.
Kill him. Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Basically, you're talking yourself into a hole, man.
How?
I'll be brief.
Wait, give a man a rope.
What is he?
Wait,
it means.
Are you talking about lynching, bro? Like, bro, get this nigga out of here, bro.
All right.
Pack him up, bro. Pack him up.
I'm your black auntie.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. You say you don't like people. It's all about relationships that you got with people. So
yeah, it's true.
When you say shit like that, do you really mean that?
Do I not like people?
You said
I'm an introvert. I'd rather be in my own space. I'd rather be by myself.
And that's okay. But what is it that you're doing that's helping other people?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Saving lives. I'm a superhero.
He's a hero.
I'm a superhero, no cape.
Jason's really wanted to talk and say some shit, bro. So we gotta hear him out.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You look great. You look
That's
great.
right. I'm Thelma again.
I believe 9 to 5 is harder. I mean, fuck.
Well, pack the show up. Cool, yeah. Pack the show up. Well, yeah.
No. I believe.
I think dreaming is so much harder. Why are you doing it?
I can't have a public relationship because of the public eye and how they judge my relationships. I had a breakup with a girlfriend that I loved so dearly because I chose streaming.
So my question.
I loved her.
My question.
I loved her, and you're laughing.
My question again. If you think it's so much harder, why are you doing it?
Because I'm passionate about it.
Okay, so you love it.
Yeah.
You love streaming. So do you love it?
It's like if you're a blacksmith and you love the feeling of the forge, you know? And it's ruining your relationship. You have to choose one or the other. a man's gonna choose that path, bro. He gonna choose that path, bro. If you the one, you gonna stay. You gonna be down 10 toes on God, bro, through thick and thin. Because in the end, when they come out on top, you taken care of, baby.
Bit more than you loved that girlfriend?
That's what I had to decide.
Oh.
I had to make sacrifice, and
So
that's
you-
what you have to do.
so you lost
with
the
streaming.
human touch.
But guess what? If I had a
You
9 to 5,
lost the human
if I
touch
was flipping burgers,
for-
I could have had a girlfriend still.
But you lost the human touch for the streaming.
Being a streamer, you have to be judged on thousands of people's
You
opinions.
judged on
every single
thousands of
9 to
things,
5
bro.
person.
One little thing can
But-
turn that shit
okay,
up.
and then back to my point. Is that your choice? Was that your choice?
But that's not the point, though. The point
No,
is
that's my point. That's my point.
streaming is harder
Was
than
that
9 to 5. That's the point.
You gave up your girlfriend for streaming. Come on now.
Shit, he ran up a bag. He
Yeah.
ran up a
Yeah,
bag.
You're choosing your career.
But the
You're
thing
choosing a
is,
career.
It comes to a point. Do I pick love and a future with someone I care dearly for, or do I pick
something that I
future
love,
something that I'm passionate about, and motion? I pick motion.
Something that I'm passionate about in motion.
I'm Lala Costa.
Lala Costa? Yes. Amazing name.
Thank you. I'm an attorney.
She makes a percent off people's fuck ups. I like that.
If you had an opportunity,
The thing is, she
to get
deals.
a
She
9 to
probably
5
has seen cases.
that you could create yourself, like whatever you want,
Yes,
9
I
to
would.
5. You would take it?
Yes.
Because why?
Because I don't even enjoy streaming anymore.
You don't? What? Come to this side.
No, but I have to because this is what I built my career off of. I
You
started.
feel stuck.
I feel stuck. Yeah.
Have you ever watched a show and you stopped watching it?
Mm,
Have you ever watched a show and you were like,
all the time.
it's the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have to.
That TV show can't. It's done. What happens to all those actors?
It's
after that?
canceled
They gotta
because I
go to-
stopped watching?
Well, no, I'm saying if
Baby, stop.
thousands of you
Honey.
stop watching.
I think you guys are mixing all
Yeah,
the issues.
Cartoon Network. It's like
and
they
not
got millions of
focusing
people. You guys know what Cartoon Network is? It's gone.
I said the same thing.
All those people are gone. Yeah, but pivot. That's the point.
Swag. My boy Swag Kage.
Nice to meet you.
I'm a professional model, but
Okay.
I've worked since I was at the age of 14.
Okay.
I was a gamer too.
I just think personally, like I agree with Jason that I think streaming does take a certain more
stop
than a 9 to 5, and I also think
He
everybody
brought up
here,
past
right,
trauma.
You guys all try to be a streamer, right? And then we all try to do what you guys do.
You get L's in your chat.
The probability of everybody here trying to be an attorney is way higher than somebody making streaming a career.
Absolutely, your job is you just got lucky because you're a
There's
gamer.
no luck. There's
You
no
got
luck
lucky.
involved.
There's so many people.
There's
like
no
you
luck.
out there.
Talented. It wasn't
These
pure
days,
luck. I was-
everybody's an influencer. Come on.
No. But
So many.
no. But specifically, what I do, I'm not posting selfies around the world. You know, it's basically all pure talent.
Wait, can I just why is he lucky? Why do we all get lucky though?
What is your talent?
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I was a professional Call of Duty player, like actual like. The
So you were
gaming.
sitting at home and you're thinking, what am I going to do with my life while you were gaming? You're like, oh, let's put a
I
camera.
was 16, so it wasn't really like
yeah,
that.
You weren't really thinking of what should I do with my life? Like, what should I study? What should I like? Where does my life go? You just got lucky.
It's not luck. It's
because-
just he's determined. He knows that's the only route.
He didn't get lucky. He put in hours.
Yeah, no.
That's what we do too. We go to
it
school,
wasn't
we
luck.
study.
Everybody's a little bit of luck. I think people who don't have a job, they feel like they want to get lucky by getting a job. So I think people even having a job is some sort of luck.
He said, how many people of us could do this? No, it's luck. It's 1 of a million because for whatever
How is
reason.
that luck? If 1 out of a million, that one has to be the best. So how are you going to dismiss
Is
all
he
of his
the
hard
best?
work and all of his
Is he the
talent?
best?
I got four. I got four.
No.
last year.
but
No. Let me give my statistics. There was over 300,000 people that played Warzone last year. This is the game that I play.
Okay.
I got 4th. So I was a top 12 player across the entire world.
And you're telling him
So
you're
that's not luck. That's
like
pure.
less than
That's
1%.
pure skill.
So you're dismissing, is Michael Jordan lucky? Is LeBron
No.
James lucky?
Yeah.
Are they
No.
lucky?
They
work.
said yes.
They have a talent.
They have talent, right, at something, and someone believed in them. These companies spend millions of dollars to produce these things, and then someone gets really, really good at it. They're going to be carried by their career, by their talent. That's not luck. I don't get lucky and beat a bunch of people who trained for years on end. You don't just get lucky as a brand new player and then you're famous. That shit does not exist, bro.
You know
And
how
I
many
learned,
talented people
I'm
out
learning.
there?
I'm learning this day by day. None of this shit is fucking luck. All this shit is algorithm, talent, and pure consistency and dedication, bro. That's all this shit is, honestly.
Don't get the chance. Don't get the shot at it.
I don't want to take up his time. So he's not talented?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Not
That's
at
what
all.
you just said.
You just said that. You said it
I
over
said a
again,
lot of
over and
people
over
are
again.
talented. Don't get the shot to do what he does.
Or people who
So
make it
it's
to the
luck.
NBA.
But I didn't even get a shot. It was, well, I did it off the strength of me. You know, there was no one who gave me a shot or anything like that. I simply was, you dead ass?
Yo, you being serious?
Why you laughing?
I can't Why they laughing, bro?
It's not luck. I've been doing this for 13 years. I uploaded 3,000 videos. 2,000 was I edited myself while I went to college, worked a job, and still went to school.
And yeah,
So that's not. I mean, if that's fucking,
stand on it, stand on it.
if that's luck,
Where's the luck at in that equation?
Again.
is there a percentage? We are all lucky in some way, right? If we all have a job, we're lucky in some sort of way. But
God bless.
off of specific pure talent. And I worked on that since I was 16.
Again, I work with many talented people. I'm not saying about you. I'm
Yeah.
just talking in general. And there's so many people that are very talented, never get a shot because they don't do the right thing. They don't go the right path. They don't meet the right people. So there are so many, even talented actors here, they never get a shot. So I'm just saying it's pure luck.
It wasn't luck. I just saw an opportunity and just genuinely took it. It wasn't a handout. It was simply just, you know what, I'm talented at Call of Duty. This is what I want to do. It took me 8 years to make it a career. Is there something funny?
It's a freaking video game.
It's a talent.
Permission to dick ride? Hey, he's made tens of millions of dollars playing video games, so.
Exactly, that's that privilege.
That's not privilege, bro. That's not privilege. You have to work to get there. Red Bull is not gonna give a little nigga who rode a bike a fucking sponsorship just because it's a privilege of his.
But I'm saying though, you couldn't hop on a game and do what I do.
You couldn't do it.
That's a skill.
Your son couldn't do it. Your grandkids couldn't do it.
Some people
Your
can't.
son's grandkids could never do it. They could never do it.
Anything that takes a talent.
The genes are done. They can't do it. They can't.
How many hours
can't.
a day did you spend?
When I was younger?
Yeah, when you were younger.
Oh, I would wake up 3 hours before school. So I would wake up at 4 a.m. and I would play before school. Bus would come at 7. I go to home, come back, and do it again. I was 16. What's funny?
See, there's a disconnect here, because to you guys, when you guys were growing up, yes, it was just video games, it was whatever. But when we were coming up, we're like, wait, maybe we can make this career. Maybe if we get good enough at it and we create.
Do you not
good
think?
enough
Do you not
content,
think if you're talented at something, it's a God-given gift?
Video games is not like.
You don't think? You don't
But
think it's talent.
why is there so much money in it then? Why is there so much money in it? Why is he able to make tens millions of thousands of dollars on playing video games if it's just not something that's not a real job? No one's gonna give you money like a real job would if you weren't actually, bro.
Y'all could never
I gotta
play
keep it a-
FNCS either. It's
I
the
gotta
same
keep
shit.
it a buck. There's a disconnect.
Same
You come
shit.
from a generation where this didn't exist. This career, you looked at this career and you laughed. Now, how come in colleges they're teaching courses on content creation and esports? When you grew up, this didn't exist. So no wonder you're gonna laugh when you hear this shit, because you're from a completely different generation.
Thank you.
You just don't get it, and I don't know if you ever will be able to wrap your head around it.
And it's fun. But it's like,
And that's
again, it's,
okay.
You gotta fight back.
That's
You gotta
okay.
fight back. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that was a valid point. He made a valid point, a very valid point.
I'm Ronnie.
Ronnie, nice to
This
meet you.
past-
My name's Ronnie.
You were talking about job security. Are you familiar with layoffs, with being furloughed? Like taking it back to.
That's the same
being-
thing.
What? What does that even mean?
You lose everything. Every dollar. Everything. You lose everything.
Okay, and then you can rebuild yourself back. You
The same way
reinvent.
you can do if you get laid off. You get a
Yeah,
new
that's
job.
it's kind
okay.
of. Is it not the same concept? Like.
I don't know. Back in 2020, when everybody was getting furloughed, everybody was like, "Oh, let me go to social media." That's kind of an easy alternative. So that
But
seems
it's
kind of
it's a
easy.
no, it's just
No,
another
but
job.
If you lose a job, you can't.
just get another
No,
one?
you can search for. You have an opportunity to search for another one. No.
Okay, I've been searching for another one for 10 months. I interview every day, give the same spiel, have to
Okay.
give that smile.
If you were to turn on stream and
walk-
never do anything for 10 months, and then one day you actually do land a job, like if you land a job tomorrow, it's the exact same concept.
Looking through
I
my
uploaded
resume.
videos for 7 years and barely got any views.
And did
It's
you
just-
wait?
it's-
You
it's-
uploaded 7 videos and,
And,
didn't
and
get any views.
went to school. Went to school and still.
And paid rent.
Yes, I still worked. I worked
Oh, so that you had another job.
as a parking attendant. Yes.
Okay, and was that harder
Then what?
No.
than streaming?
No.
I was on my phone all the time.
Oh, as a parking attendant, that doesn't sound like you were doing a very good job.
I was chilling.
You were chilling. You weren't good at
Doesn't matter what I was doing. I was still working.
When cars park, they're done. Like it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't have to.
Well,
I'm not security.
That's
I just
a
go.
one
I go like this. I
9 to
go like this. Yo, right there. I bet. Do you think an aspect of a video game, playing video games, is a talent?
I would say it's a skill. I wouldn't call it a talent. You can master it with,
Ooh,
But
people play. Millions play video games, but there are
And
very few
never
people who
get
are
good.
genuinely gifted at it.
Gifted? What are they,
Yes.
Mozart?
How is it not a talent? Why is it not a talent what he does?
You know what? I'm open to it being a talent. I think it's a skill. I think it's something you can master. I don't think you're a Mozart that you have this gift of like, whoa, when I put my thumb here and this thumb there and do this combo, I do this
You'd be
flip.
surprised. I mean, there's people out there who are genuinely
They have their opposable
the
thumbs
most
like
gifted-
so good.
That's like saying, here's a paintbrush, go paint me Picasso.
Yeah, that's
like,
what?
what?
I'm saying this is so hard. If there's certain games that have $1 million prize pools, if there's a skill you could just learn and you're looking for a job for 10 months, go pick up a controller and go hop in this $1 million tournament and win it.
You
couldn't win it.
You couldn't. You couldn't. You couldn't.
Qualify.
You couldn't.
What do you mean I wouldn't
You
qualify?
can't even find your OBS
You have
stream
to
key.
qualify. You do have to
I need to
qualify.
work for it,
It's like an
but-
open, an
So, like,
Olympic
but
Open.
you're dismissing what he does. You're just dismissing.
I'm
Like,
not
oh,
dismissing. I'm saying
it's
that's
not a
easy.
skill. It's not a talent.
I
Like,
said it's a skill.
it's
I didn't
easy.
say it's a talent. I
But
said
skills
it's a
aren't
skill.
easy
It's
to
a skill
acquire.
that you
How
can
do you
own and
how do you
can
know
master.
how do you know if it's easy if you haven't done it? Like if you
I
don't.
played Mario Kart. I've played
That's
other
not a
games.
$1 million prize pool video.
No, not
Yeah.
a professional level because
Right.
that's not what I'm trying to pursue.
I know, but you don't understand what it takes to be on that sort of level. So how can you try to dismiss it and say it's yours is harder?
What
How
is-
do you know?
what
how
does
do
it
you
take
know?
to be on that
Because
level?
I've worked at 9 to 5.
Yeah. What
so
does it take to be on that level?
Just gift, and you got to play all
Just
the time.
gift?
Tens of thousands of hours of work
Uh-huh.
and editing and filming and constantly
I'm just
having
talking
to
about pure
innovate and
skill. As far as like the
reinvent
videos and stuff like that, just off pure skill.
I had
you
to
that-
put tens of thousands of hours
Could you get a
into my
refresh second
studies.
zone tarping? Could you?
I have no idea what you said.
Could you get a refresh going into second zone with no mats? Can you get a refresh on the best players? You
I
couldn't.
can also put. I can circle back and give
Do you know how to
different
short launch
terms
pad?
from
When you're
my
trying to get to third
industries.
zone, third moving. Do you know
I
how to
don't know
short?
what- No,
launch
I
it?
don't. But
Exactly,
if I want,
you couldn't, but Excel sheet, we could do Excel sheet.
no, but exactly. I
They're
can
just
throw-
talking. They're just talking.
They don't
games.
understand
I should-
exactly the same thing that you would think that they don't understand, which in simple terms they do. Being a streamer, literally, you have to. There's so many jobs within that one title that it's extremely hard to like categorize it into one thing except being a streamer.
Babysitter, I can talk to you about the different.
Once you go
things
to a
I do and
professional
ask you,
level
could
with
you
it,
do that?
it's a
No,
whole
but
different
if
level.
you wanted to, you would.
If us four
Put on race.
took 3 days, you don't think we can master an Excel sheet?
Oh,
But let me give you. If I give you 3 days about a video game, do you think you could be that talented as me?
if I wanted to, I would.
So let's
Let's
let's pay
do
for her,
that.
Whatever it is.
Okay,
give you 3
please.
days, but if you lose, you got to give us it back in double.
No, that's not how
And you
it
couldn't
works.
do that,
You
though.
pay me, I'll get the job done.
She still wouldn't be able to do it though. On God, go get
I
a
would
trick shot.
say,
One.
in a sense, yes, because you have to put in the work and you got to be on 24/7.
It's difficult
No,
to
you
answer
don't.
that question for us, I think, because
Yeah, it's not 24/7. It's literally a 9 to 5. It's 8 hours, 8.5 hour shifts, unless you work a job where, yeah, they want you on the job 24/7. But as a streamer, you technically are. When you're sleeping, you're on the clock. You're getting rest for yourselves to perform for the next stream.
didn't come up in this time frame in this era.
At their level.
And technology is totally different now, because we were just talking about playing tic-tac-toe on the sidewalk with Carl. I appreciate and respect what they do, and I think that's the consensus for most of us, that we appreciate and respect where they
Yo,
are.
this Spanish dude, that Spanish
It's
dude
not-
wanted to
it-
talk
what we
the
did
entire
was we
time,
just
and he
felt like
never
what
got
we
a
did was
second.
hard. And that's what I think. So
My mind was changed.
This guy right here, he never got a chance to talk. He never got a chance to talk. Pretty much everybody except her, him, and him. Those are only 3 people that didn't say anything.
Change in the sense that now I'm even more convinced that normal jobs are harder.
Yeah, okay, bro.
G'day, guys.
Let's try it. They should have did a thing where they set up like a fucking like PC setup and everything, and then just had these niggas like try to maintain their crowd. Like everybody go over to the crowd. If you are entertained, genuinely stay. If you're not entertained, Genuinely leave. Don't just fucking do that shit for the video because, like, you know, genuinely gauge and see if he can uphold the thousands of viewers that we have. If you're boring as fuck, then it is what it is, and you can't maintain this. Damn, Dante got how did he turn this into a 2-hour video? I turned it into an hour and 10-minute video, but I know he has a lot more to say about it than I do. Yo, please go watch this video. Dante's super introspective about what he has to say about these things. Please, please, please go watch that. Streamers versus the 9 to 5 Rage Bait with Dante. I am Dante. I am DONTAI. Please go watch that because I know he said some deep shit, bro. But we gonna catch y'all on the next one. We gave y'all PC cleaner today. My baby is We gonna see y'all next time. Tomorrow for the IRL stream, 4:30. Be here or be square. I'm going to gun range with Sigtima, so you all want to watch that over on her channel. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Deuces, gang.